meeting to order. If we would, Clayton Miller will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would, George, would you come up and lead us in prayer? There you go.
Let us bow our heads, please. Father, we're grateful and thankful for this opportunity that you've allowed us to have once again to bow our unworthy heads, to give you the thanks and the praises for allowing us to come before your throne. Ask your blessings upon this meeting tonight. Bless all the councilmen and the ladies and our mayor, that we would conduct the business in the way that would be pleasing to you. Let us all be swift to hear, slow to speak, and give us guidance in these blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda is approval of the regular meeting minutes from March 18th. If there aren't any questions or concerns about those, I will entertain a motion to approve those.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Okay. Motion by Clayton, have a second.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Terry, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is approval and ratification of bills.
I make a motion to pay the bills before they go up.
All right, motion by Tootie,
Second.
second by Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, visitors, do we have anybody in the audience that wants to speak? Tammy, you good? Okay. Okay. Okay, next up is approval of the February 2024 financial statement. If there are not any questions concerning that financial statement, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I make a motion we approve.
Motion by Clayton, to have a second.
I second it.
Second by Tootie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, second and final reading of an amendment to ordinance 2024-06 to correct property description. Arlene, do you have that?
An ordinance amending and adopting an amending zoning map entitled Zoning Map Leitchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Leitchfield, Kentucky is hereinafter described from B-1 Neighborhood Business and C-1 Highway Commercial to EX-1 Exclusive Use. Whereas ordinance number 2024-06 was duly adopted by the Leitchfield City Council on February 5th, 2024, it has come to the city's attention that the property description in said ordinance is incorrect, and the ordinance has other inconsistencies with the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield that ordinance 2024-06, the City of Leitchfield ordinances passed on February 5th, 2024, be amended as follows, with added portions being underlined and deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them. Whereas the Leitchfield Planning Commission of Leitchfield, Kentucky on January 8th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-23-125. The property is currently owned by Clayton Watkins Construction Company, Inc., and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-08-05-003 and 083-08-05-004 and 083-08-05-049, being more particularly described in Deed Book 517, page 120, Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 306 Marion Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from a B-1 Neighborhood Business and C-1 Highway Commercial to EX-1 Exclusive Use. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Leitchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map, Leitchfield, Kentucky. Be and same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof, is fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 1/9/2024 to the Leitchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description tract 1-1 consisting of 2.44 acres and tract 2-2 consisting of .83 acres is set out in the preliminary plat development plan attached to the application, PVA number 083-05-003 and 083-08-05-004 and 08A3-08-05-049, deed book 517, page 120, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office being located at 306 Marion Street, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned to EX-1 exclusive use after the adoption of this ordinance. This amended ordinance shall be in full force and effect following publication as required by law. Need a first and second and all, roll call.
And roll call, okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the reading of this.
I'll make a motion.
Second by Clayton. Do the roll call, Denny.
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys. Okay. Second and final reading of the amendment to ordinance 2024-05 to correct names on ordinance.
Whereas ordinance number 2024-05 was duly adopted by the Litchfield City Council on February 5th, 2024, it has come to the city's attention that the ordinance had some typographical errors causing inconsistencies with the recommendations of the Planning Commission. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield that ordinance 2024-05 of the City of Litchfield ordinances patched February 5th, 2024 be amended as follows, with added portions being underlined and deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on January 8th, 2024 held a public hearing on application number RZ-23-124. The property is currently owned by Rebecca Miller and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-09-28-065, being more particularly described in deed book 469, page 332, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, being located approximately 820 feet west of the intersection of Wallace Avenue and Howard Avenue, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from an A-R2, and whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district is shown on district map entitled Zoning Map, Litchfield, Kentucky, being the same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereto. It's fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 1/9/2024 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description, PVA number 083-09-28-065, deed book 469, page 332, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located approximately 820 feet west of the intersection of Wallace Avenue and Howard Avenue, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now zoned R-2, single-family, medium density after the adoption of this ordinance.
Okay.
Need a motion, a second, and roll call.
Okay. Do you have a motion to accept the reading there?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Tootie, second by Clayton. Roll call, Denny.
Aye.
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 Thank you all. Okay, unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property.
Tyler and I have not had a meeting with Dalton included yet. Hopefully we'll have it soon.
Okay. Okay, and drafting of ordinance relating to text amendments to section 2.11 of the zoning ordinance.
And the council had already voted on this, so this is a first reading.
Okay.
Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission and zoning ordinance Article 3 describes zone descriptions and permitted uses, whereas it is appropriate to amend said ordinances based on a change in the needs of property and business owners, whereas such standards will promote the growth and needs of the community. Now therefore be it ordained that ordinance number 99-6 enacted on July 1999 shall be amended as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them, with added portions being underlined. Article 3, zoning districts established, zone districts, permitted uses, maximum requirements, lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. Maximum requirements lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. Maximum requirements lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. Maximum requirements lot coverage is 60%, building height not to exceed 84 feet. And this is a first reading, so we won't vote tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Irving. Okay. Unfinished business. Do we have any, Billy, do you have any unfinished business?
No, sir.
Terry?
I've got a question for Chief Riley. Any update on the flock system? Any timeline of those?
We was discussing that today, the mayor and myself. The contract's been signed and everything. We should start getting information now on training and how to implement and all that. So that's where we're at. So hopefully that's coming real soon because apparently the contract has been signed.
Yeah, and the last thing I signed was part of that basically is a request from the state road department for us to put stuff on state right away. So that should be the last of signing and all that, so it should be coming pretty soon, I'd say.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Terry?
No, that's it.
Tootie?
No, sir.
Clayton?
No, sir.
Gina? Danny?
Yes. Brought to my attention that maybe we need to amend the last meeting's minutes regarding the executive session in that Gina did not attend the executive
Okay.
session. So maybe amend it just to reflect that.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing is, maybe Tammy could speak to the sign that was put up at Bevel Park. We need to thank tourism for paying for it and David Elliott for building it. He's really, really talented. And I can't wait to see what he's got. He told me what he's got planned for Fireman's Park, and it should be pretty neat if it happens. But I think the Bevel family was pretty emotional about seeing the sign being raised.
They were. There's a lot of tears shed and a bonus for the sign. I don't know if y'all have been to look at it yet or not, but it's an arch over the entrance there. And when the sun hits it just right, it looks like it's been perfectly painted on the blacktop when you drive through it. So hope to find somebody with a drone one of these days to get a good picture of that to frame hang it. But that was an unexpected benefit of it, just seeing that the way it does with the sunshine. So, but it is really nice. We're lucky to have someone as talented as David to do things like that for us. Anything else, Dean?
That was it. Thanks.
Lori?
Nope.
Erlene?
No.
Wes?
Just wanted to remind everybody that this coming Saturday is cleanup day. Transfer station will be open from 8 to 12. It'll be open every Saturday in April. The cleanup part, we're gonna meet at the Public Works Building around 8 o'clock, start out there, and then we'll come back and have a little lunch and hopefully get something cleaned up around town.
Okay.
But other than that,
And we do want to take this opportunity, anyone's watching out in TV land, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, if you want to help with cleanup day, feel welcome to come over. We'll feed you a hot dog after we're done, or two.
Wesley, do you have designated areas what need the
yeah,
most?
Yeah, I have maps and everything that will, certain areas will
Concentrate.
hit here in town and certain main streets that sometimes get a little neglected. It's a good time to get those and, really get in and clean them good. Hopefully the weather will be nice.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to, after the snow clears off.
After the snow
Yeah.
this week.
Right. Yeah. Okay. David?
No, sir.
Okay. New business. Billy, you have any
No,
new
sir.
business? Terry?
No.
No, sir.
Clayton?
No, sir.
Gene? Danny?
Yes.
Okay.
Just ask you guys to consider something. I had a developer I talked to today for subdivisions, and he was very complimentary of the city and Tyler and others, but there's really nothing out there, any program to encourage developers within the city. Nothing for the utilities, couldn't do a whole lot. They have very limited. But with the budget coming up, I thought maybe that may be something we want to look at. I can kind of create something, a plan, if there's interest in it. If there's not, then we'll just let it go. If there is, I can kind of give an idea about something, if the council's interested. It would be to encourage subdivision development within the city limits, of course.
Yeah.
But is there any feeling on that? Just none?
Did you
Some?
get any feedback from utilities? Have you talked to
Well,
them?
yes, we've had, remember the meeting we had? They're pretty well set.
The
there's
meeting
not
we
gonna
had
be any
several months
changes.
ago? Yeah.
So it'd just be us.
They have made some changes for contractors. If you, say you're a contractor, you put out X amount of dollars to bring sewer or whatever to you, they will reimburse for a period of no more than 10 years, right?
Yeah, that's
Laura?
what I was thinking was 10
They'll
years.
reimburse you for that cost.
There's
which
a
is benefit-
KRS on it, but I don't remember the KRS number.
Yeah. If you guys want to see that, we can look up that KRS and
Yeah,
make
I knew
email
they
to
were
you.
kind of limited to what we could give
Yeah.
Yes.
per KRS.
I think it'd be beneficial to research some of that, Danny, and I think it'd be beneficial for us too, maybe. We've always tried to accommodate larger companies coming in. We've not done much for the smaller companies, small business. So if anybody has any, mull it over, and if you have anything, brainstorm something we could do for small business or something like that to encourage, I think it'd be well received. So everybody kind of think of that, Denny. See what you can come up with on the other, and never hurts to look into it.
Another area I saw, a lot of cities will have tax abatement for property tax. When somebody buys a blighted structure and then spends $1 million on it, then their tax rate's based on the $1 million. And what Gino knows better than I would. How often, is it 4 years that they reevaluate, something like that? So I think that would be another thing to look at. The cost on that would be pretty minimal, really, for the property tax, and what do we get, roughly $100 per 100,000?
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't be a whole lot if the person qualified.
Right.
But that was another area I thought, again, this is all with the budget. I don't see that impacting the budget tremendously.
Yeah.
But anyway, if that's something we're interested in looking at, I can, if anybody else too. Just
Yeah.
something I thought would be a good thing to help people that's spending a lot of money on the properties.
Yeah, and we've been lucky lately to have kind of a miniature renaissance in the city, especially downtown areas. So anything like that you guys can brainstorm, think about, I think it'd be beneficial for at least to look at it and see.
I truly think that's where this building's paid off. They come and they see this building that we have, and it gets them excited
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do something or add to, or just reface it.
It has a look of success.
Yes.
it does. And I've had a lot of nice compliments about this building from people that have come in from the state and federal level, the government, and so it's worked out well for us. Be here long after we're gone, Billy.
Yes, it will.
But again, if y'all are interested in doing it, we can, and everybody else can too, just come up with
Yeah.
something. I thought it was, a lot of the programs are only for have a sunset for 5 years or something like that. It's not like it's forever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
You can look into some of that, like I say, if any of us, if you can come up with something, it's always reasonable, I think, to be able to look into benefiting the people that make the city successful. If we didn't have large and small business, we'd be hurting. So, like I say, we've had a lot of people invest a lot of time and money into our community recently, so. Okay. Anything
Last
else?
thing is, maybe consider doing something like the bus program at Morgantown. I wish Tyler was here, but I know in the comprehensive plan, the transportation was one of the areas that we were lacking significantly. The hospital did a survey. They found the same thing. Our transportation here is very lacking. Talked to the Grace County Food Alliance Pantry. They have issues with people getting out there again. Morgantown was able to do a lot with a little. It may be something we could look at if you're all interested in doing it. They got their bus given to them. I think we can find ways to fund it, at least look at it, try it for a year. If it doesn't work out,
To my understanding, go ahead, Tony.
Morgantown just got one bus?
3.
they have a couple buses.
Okay.
But they primarily one bus that I understand, if you remember, Mayor, or Scotty may remember more about it than I did, but I remember one bus, and they have, if it goes down, they have a backup.
One was just a spare in case of a small, it was a van type.
Yeah.
Yes. And all their runs are scheduled.
They have somebody that runs every bit of it.
Yeah. They just don't drive around.
They do not.
They
No.
schedule in the mornings and,
And the people down there had her number, like the lady that drove it, they would call her directly, you know, if,
yeah, it's really gonna benefit the hospital. It'll benefit them tremendously. Morgantown don't have a hospital, so
yeah.
you've got
The
all these people here that the hospital's loaded with 15 doctors that,
Yeah.
so we have no taxi service, so that's gonna be,
You see that more than anybody, I'm sure,
yes.
with yours. They also said the other biggest areas was the grocery stores. So I thought, you know, Walmart does have some grants, and maybe Houchins Industries.
Well, we picked up the one young man that worked at McDonald's, didn't have a ride to work, so we picked him up across town, took him to work that day. We rode on it, so.
I was just really impressed. Now, you know, we were there, it just happened to be at the,
Yeah, isn't it from 8 to 4 or 8 to 5?
was it 8 or 9? 9
I
to
think it's
3, it
9.
seemed like.
9 to 3.
Actually, it was 6 days a week. They started out running, was it 3 days a week, Mayor?
Yeah.
And then it got so popular, and now I think they're going to expand it, the hours even, so. Their
I think our-
employee was part-time, I think.
I think our biggest issue, I think it would be a hit. I think at some point we would, I don't think one would do us, you know, once word got out and people start using it.
Oh, I agree.
I think, but that's a good problem to have when you're doing something like that, so.
I think
We
another
want it to be
problem we
used.
may have is that we're bigger than Morgantown. Morgantown's size, we're a little bit bigger, make it longer. But I think it's a great service, and if we could offer to the citizens, that would be, I think, a really good deal.
Hey, Denny, how would this differ from the CATS program that's already here, the Community Action Transportation System?
I don't know a lot about it, but the CATS program, they're paid, and it's basically Medicaid eligible, is my understanding.
Yes.
So their Billy would be the,
Yes.
yeah.
Is
so
it all Medicaid?
Yes, they don't transport anybody without having a scheduled or insurance or.
Not to work or not to the grocery.
So would we just, the city would just fund this service?
I think
I
we,
mean, I could sense a lot of it, I'm hearing a lot of like hospital.
I think we could look at having some help funding it. Of course, as Billy said, the hospitals probably got more interest in it than anyone. I haven't talked to them directly. I think Denny's talked with them some, but I think they're very interested in contributing in a pretty meaningful way, so.
It's not really eligible for tourism, so you can't reach there because you're not going out of the city.
Right,
So tourism is you draw them in from out of the city.
right.
But I
So-
think
I'll-
industry-
Go ahead.
So I would,
industrial, if we're taking them to work, industrial might be an option.
I can't hear you, Gina.
Industrial might be an option since if we're talking about making get people to work back and forth some.
Another thing that I thought about for tourism is possibly during off hours, like for the Fiddling Festival or something like that. They could always rent out the bus and use it to transport people for those type of programs. But as a general rule, tourism
No.
would be out. It would just be a rental type situation. But I think there's some funding out there that we can actually get if.
Morgantown, I know they got some help federally that I think we would be eligible for, and I'm not sure what other help they got. They wouldn't have had an asset like the hospital that is.
Right.
is that something our Lincoln Trail Connection can, with funding?
Do what now?
I
Sorry.
said, is that something Lincoln Trail, our Lincoln Trail connection
They might.
could search for?
Yeah, we could work with them, and like I say, between them and the hospital, the federal end of it, that has had some participation in Morgantown. I think it's worth looking into. My biggest concern is it would become real popular real quick.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so, but again, that's a good problem. That's,
But if you got a schedule, I mean, if you got, that's a little burden on whoever's wanting the ride, so.
yeah,
They had exactly the right person running it.
yeah, the lady, she was just stern enough to,
So did she have
Nobody pulled nothing on
Did they
her.
have an office where they had a secretary that took the calls for scheduling, or
She used a
Just
cell phone.
cell phone?
yeah.
Just called her directly, and she took care of it. And she was taking care of it.
Yeah,
Good deal.
she got a couple of calls while we were riding on it with her, so, yeah, she's definitely the right person, because you can tell she took ownership of it, it was her baby, so. Okay, anything else, Dean?
That was it. Thank you.
Okay, Lori, new business?
The only thing I have is I handed out the new sheets for your ordinance books that I made up. If you want to leave your books, I don't care to put them in for you, or you're taking, and you can take them with you and just put them in as you can, so.
Erling,
I ain't got a hold of it.
Wes,
Yeah.
David?
I do. In front of you there's a couple of vehicles here that I would like for you guys to consider for surplus. It's the two 2013 Chevrolet Caprices. One of them had a blown engine, and we've been actually utilizing that as a parts car because the 2013 Caprices was built overseas, and they're extremely hard to get parts for, and that's why KSP done away with them. But we've got one that is still running, but it's having some small issues and stuff, and part availability is just really hard to get the new parts for it to fix it right.
Okay.
So I would like for you guys just to consider maybe allowing us to surplus those and sell them on gov deals.
I'll make a motion, surplus your car.
I second.
Motion by Billy,
The
second
engine's worth more than the car.
by
Engine,
Clayton.
transmission.
Yeah, these are both LS cars.
Yeah, engine, transmission worth more than the car.
Yeah. And also, I got one more thing, sitting out front here is the new Chargers that we just got delivery on. So I've got the key here, so if you guys want to check it out, after the meeting, I'll be out there by the car, so
Do we get to drive it?
I don't know all about that.
I saw your Jeep sitting out here. Has it already been sold, or is
It has not been sold,
Pro-
it just now went on gov deals.
Gotcha.
So it was just listed today.
We did sell one recently, like
We
last
did,
week or so.
We did.
yeah.
We sold a Charger, and I think I reported on it last time. I think we got, was it 4,500 out of it, Lori?
That sounds right.
I think it was
$4,501.94.
Yeah, and it was, it actually had a bad engine.
I vote aye. I don't think we voted yet.
Yeah, I was.
We can tell that now that it's sold.
Yeah. Got a motion by Billy to declare this surplus, second by Clayton's. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank
There
you.
you go, David. All right, if there's anything else, anybody, Tammy, you have anything?
Give you a little update on. On our rec league, we have 507 players that have registered, and that was with Leitchfield. So our numbers have increased. They start.
What do you mean that was with Leitchfield? I mean.
Just Leitchfield, that wasn't including, that was our numbers that Christie put together, that was
So
just
our numbers are
Leitchfield.
507, both fields, girls
sir.
and boys.
Yes, sir. And we're also going to, on April 20th, we're doing an opening day, and that's where both fields will be utilized. All the players will come out, and everybody will have an opportunity to play a game. We're going to have a couple of food trucks there. One of them will be the high school. And then I have two kind of out-of-town ones that are coming in also. But we would like you all to come out and just check it out and just
Bless
see
you.
what we have going on. But other than that, it looks like we're going to have a really good season.
What is that date again?
April 20th.
What time?
I believe it'll start at 9 a.m.
Okay,
If that changes, I'll let you know.
okay.
Tammy, how many did you have last year?
I have no idea.
was
But I
thinking-
know it wasn't quite, I think it was more around 400,
I
maybe
was thinking
300
a little over
range.
400 last year.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
We have several teams that have moved, several that moved up from T-ball that went to coach pitch. So that's where our largest number is.
Thanks.
Good deal.
They told me there was 70, like 77 T-ballers.
Very good. Thank you, Tammy. Okay. Anyone else have anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, motion by Clayton, second by Tootie. All in
Street
favor?
committees are gonna meet.
Oh, I forgot to look on the back of that. Okay, let's back up a minute. Reminder, there will be a street committee meeting on April 15th at 5 PM. The next chamber luncheon is April 11th at noon. Please let Lori know no later than noon on Monday, April 8th, if you plan to attend, so.
Just make sure I know first by April 8th, because she is not taking late ones because of spring break, so.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. I overlooked that. All right, so now let's, we've got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.